folks, it's Shannon. Welcome on into my channel. I feel like I'm super rusty. It's been a little while since I've made a video. So, surprise! I'm still here. I'm still doing YouTube. I just, it's been really crazy in the United States lately. And I wanted to talk about it a little bit, I think, and then talk about a little bit kind of what we're doing with the channel. And some of the ways that I want to see it shift and grow in the years that come. So, if that sounds interesting to you, grab some tea and let's get into it. So, since we're chatting over tea, I figure I'd start with asking you, how are you doing? Both in the United States and out of the United States, I feel like stuff has been a little bit, like I said before, just I don't know, there aren't words for it. Like the the politics and the tomfoolery and the ridiculous attacks on um, public health and education and other pillars of civil social government um, have really been hard to watch and hard to know how to respond to. So I knew that things were going to be bad. I knew that it would be worse than the last time the Cheeto in chief was elected, but I couldn't predict how things were going to go. And I think that's probably true of the future too. So, yeah, just want to honor that and the place that we're all in and give us a minute to talk about kind of how things are going and how we're doing. The state of the world writ large set aside, I've been doing okay. I feel like that question kind of doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, how are you doing? And like, okay, like, I don't know, like, I'm still um, alive and still kicking. I guess that is a good start at the moment. Um, most days I still have my sense of humor, so that's huge too. Um, but yeah, things have been hard. I feel like work has been busy and hard. Um, I chose to cancel a trip that I had planned because I was, um, well, I was scared about trying to cross the US border again. Um, so, yeah, I've been home this week and kind of spring cleaning a bit around my apartment. Um, I missed the spring equinox because I was working, but I've been trying to kind of prep. It's not really feeling like spring yet where I am. It's 34 degrees outside right now and sunny. 34 degrees Fahrenheit, let me be clear. Um, so that's like right around freezing for my folks that like to watch from other countries. Um, yeah, so I don't know. It feels like spring, but it also feels like winter is hanging on and like we're not quite ready to get going yet, I guess, despite all of the Aries season stuff that's been going around. And some of that might be because of the retrogrades, and some of that might be because of the state of the world. And I don't know. So yeah, it's a weird in between time. And I say that I like weird in between times, and I do. Like liminal spaces are cool, but they're also kind of inherently uncomfortable. Um, yeah, so I think that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But tell me how you're doing in the comments below. I'm very curious. So, after talking about the world and how I'm doing, and hopefully you talking about how you're doing down in the comments, um, I think it's time to talk about this channel and kind of what I'm trying to do with it at the moment, which I don't really know. So, this will be like talking it through together, which will be kind of fun. Yeah, I started this channel back in September of 2023. So it's been, let's see, about a year and a half, I guess, around that I've been working on it. I've made 45 videos at this point. I'm pretty comfortable talking to a camera in a way that I wasn't before I started, even though I feel a little rusty sometimes when I let too much time go. Um, yeah, and I feel like um, we've broken the 100 subscribers mark, and it's just cool to be able to share with y'all the things that I'm thinking about and working on and things like that. So, thank you for being here. It's been a quiet, slow growth, and I know I post kind of irregularly, but I really appreciate y'all. And the comments that you leave just warm my heart, and um, it's been really fun to start building a community of like minded folks. So, um, you're super welcome here, and I'm really glad that you're here. I have a hard time knowing kind of what I want to talk about sometimes. I've talked with a lot of you about this because you give me these brilliant ideas, which I'm very grateful for. But I don't know, I feel like a lot of the time I don't feel like I actually have anything to say, um, which I know is, common imposter syndrome that a lot of people struggle with. But yeah, I just have found that with my work and my life, I am not able to keep up like a super regular schedule. And so, like, I don't explode on the algorithm. And I'm okay with that. And that is pretty liberating, I feel. Um, so, yeah. Um, Basically, I think this channel will continue to be a mix of witchy stuff, journaling stuff. I'm wanting to bring in more bookish content. Um, but just stuff that I'm excited about and want to share with you guys. Um, so if there are things you want to hear about that you think would be interesting to hear my take on, let me know down in the comments, or reach out to me on various socials and places you know where to find me. So while I'm feeling inspired today and while I have my video stuff out, I might make a couple videos. We'll see. Um, I've found that I can't really make videos ahead of time too long because I like overthink them and then start picking at them and editing them to death, and it's not, um, it doesn't feel genuine anymore and authentic. So, um, part of what happens with the channel is that like I make videos when I have something to say, and it isn't always consistent. So, this is going to sound super YouTubey, but you should subscribe and maybe hit the notification bell because my videos come out kind of randomly. And so if you want to know about them, that would be the best way to do it. Okay, promo aside. So, what have I been up to? I think in those areas it would probably be worth talking about. So, like witchery, journaling, and um, books. So, my witchcraft practice has been going pretty well, I would say. It's been kind of stable, which is part of why I haven't been talking about it that much. I feel like it's going well and it's serving my needs. And um, I don't know that there's a lot of innovation that's happening there. But maybe that consistency and kind of like what I'm doing would be interesting in and of itself as I'm talking, I'm realizing. So maybe we'll talk about it some more. Um, yeah, I would say I have a fairly stable morning practice. I um, Each morning when I wake up, I come to my desk, which has become like a little altar, and I will pull out my journal, my morning journal, which, if you remember, we set up at one point, is very pretty. Um, and when I'm in here, let's look back a ways so that we don't have to talk about stuff that's been going on recently. But I want to do, yeah, here. So I basically have a morning routine where I talk about my mood, look through the astrology, record the weather, put down an affirmation, talk about something that's making me grateful, and then set a priority for the day. So yeah, that's kind of what I've settled on for my morning routine. And then after that, I work on my morning pages. So this is a leftover from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, which is an interesting book. I don't know if I would recommend it, but I would recommend morning pages. So morning pages are the practice of just like free form, dumping thoughts out of your head every morning for about 3 pages worth of writing. And I think if you're a creative of any sort, this is very helpful, especially for writers, but for other folks too. Um, anyway, so that's my morning routine, is that kind of short journaling chunk in my journal, and then writing, usually with tea, because you know your girl loves some tea. Um, yeah, so that's kind of my morning practice. And then I kind of do things during the day as I'm called, um, and as I have time. I'm still working with Jessica and the Moon and the Moonwise membership, um, and it's going really well. I really love the community there and the journaling prompts and the tarot spreads, and I love the flexible structure of it, so I can kind of jump in when I have time, and catch up a little bit. There's not stuff to do every day, so it's not overwhelming to me. Um, yeah, if you're interested, I'll link Jessica's video, or actually, maybe I'll link my video describing the Moonwise membership below, because it's open again. And so if you want to join us, that would be amazing. Um, yeah, so there's that. And then I still not having like a super consistent night routine. I guess that would be one place that I could play around with. Um, I like take my meds and I read usually before I go to bed, but that's about it. I don't do a lot of journaling or other things at that time. Um, and part of me thinks that maybe I should, but part of me thinks that that should is just like always being more perfect kind of shoulding, which is not super helpful for me. Yeah, so I'll continue to play with it and see what happens. Um, I'm a part of a bunch of really awesome communities of witchy folk. So both online and in my local area. Shout out to all my coven mates of various ilks. Um, it's been really great to practice not only as a solitary witch, but also in community and get to know folks better and raise energy together and tackle kind of really important things that are happening in the world. Um, yeah, so I think that's the update on how my witchcraft is going. In terms of journaling, I am an unrepentant multi-journal person. I think I did a Teko Kaigai. I think that's how you say it. I actually don't know, but like a review of all the journals I was using at the end of 2024. I'm still mostly in the same ones. I've got that morning journal that I showed you. All of my journals are covered in dragon fur, so you'll just have to forgive me at the moment, okay? Um, this is my Moonwise journal. It's blackout pages. You've seen it before, and I'm getting toward the end. Look at this. Look at this. We're up to here. There's that much left. So I think that's about a moon cycle. So pretty soon I might be starting a new journal, which would be fun. I think I'm going to stay in an A5 because I love B5s and I don't want to go back into B5 and then have to use up the A5 that I have later. So it's kind of silly, but I think I'm going to stick in the A5 for this next chunk. What else? I have like a bajillion journals. I just started one that I'm going to try to use for writing, which I can talk about a little bit more if people are interested. And then my reading journal has been taking up a lot of time, which is this one, because I've been reading a lot more than usual. I think with the state of the world and with my escapist tendencies, I've been reading a lot. So I think the last time I made a video, we were making this vision board kind of page. Let's see what else might be interesting in my journal. Let's see, maybe we'll go through kind of the last season, which is how I've been journaling, is like seasonally. So I make like a setup at the beginning that kind of lets me per each season. So this was winter 2025. I've got the books that I read during the winter, like when I read which thing and how much I wrote as well. And then the next pages are reviews. So I finally caught up. I was like 10, 12 books behind, but I have written reviews for everything I've read at this point through the year. And I've read about 12. Oh, that was an awesome birthday party. Shout out to Michelle and Emily. Anyway, so yeah, so I've read 12 books so far this year, which is, you know, what I used to read in a year. It's been a mix of things. It's been a bunch of fantasy, a bunch of sci-fi, some nonfiction, some witchy books. Yeah, it's been good. The most recent book that I just finished was Mistborn, which was good. I'm trying to decide if I want it to be a 4-star or a 5-star review. I gave it 4 stars to start with because I feel like it's not going to be one of my favorites ever, if that makes sense. But I think it's probably worth 5 stars. I don't know. I'm going to keep mulling over it. Have you read Mistborn? If so, tell me in the comments. Yeah. So, with that, it is April. And those of you that are in the know that the Magical Readathon happens during April. So it's the spring equinox semester. And I am reading fervently to try and get through all of the books that I have planned. Maybe I can show you another video with like my TBR and how I decided to do things. But yeah, currently I'm reading A Natural History of Dragons, and I'm reading The Wind's 12 Quarters, which is a collection of short stories by Ursula K. Le Guin. Yeah, and then I'm working on the Moon book for my witchy stuff. And it's going well. I'm enjoying all of them, and yeah, life is good. Don't want to say that these days, but like in the ways that I can control it, I feel like things are going well. So, I think that's a wrap up of where we are and what I'm going to be talking about. I think I have a small surprise for those of you that stayed to the end. I want to show you some of my plants. I've been growing more and more plants, and I feel like they look pretty cool. So let's do a little house plant tour. Ready? These are where I keep my decks, tarot and oracle. But next to them is probably the oldest plant that I have, which is looking, you know, a little rough, but is doing okay. I don't know that this makes sense on the tripod. Let me see. Maybe I'll switch you around and then it'll work better. One second. Okay, here's that plant that I was just showing you. I don't know if I was showing it to you well before. Then over here in the window, I have this plant. For those of you that are gamers, you may recognize that this is a Junimo planter. Fun. This plant has just continued to do super well, and I don't know why. It's like a tropical plant, but it seems to love Minnesota winters. We got string of turtles here. I don't know if you can see it, but the little like circles have kind of like, they kind of look like turtle shells. That's why it's called that. I've got some rows of Jerichos. I've got string of hearts now, which is starting to put out some new leaves. I'm very excited. And then down here I've got a Hoya rope plant, which is doing okay. A shark tooth fern, a cypress plant, and then some offcuts from the plant up above and the plant that I showed you first that are doing well. In fact, this one, I don't know if you can see, yeah, it's having some flowers, which is very exciting. Hopefully this was a fun catch up. I wanted to kind of jump back in and tell you how things have been going. Let me know what of the things I talked about sound exciting to you. Um, and we'll make some more videos in the future. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're taking excellent care of yourself and those that are dear to you. Um, yeah, with that, I will get going. I hope you have a great day. Bye.